The pandemic is causing its own plague of problems within the criminal justice system. As courts backlog, more and more violent criminals are being released while they wait, putting them back in our communities and threatening your safety. Of course, Nylander looks into some of the startling stories in tonight's News 4 Tucson investigation.
We've seen criminals with a long rap sheet get released and go on to kill law enforcement officers, school teachers right here in Tucson. And for the victims' families left behind, they can't help but feel things were preventable. Diana Garaventa just had her first birthday without her son, David Anderson.
He would have been calling me. I just want him back, and I want him to be able to do all the amazing things he was getting ready to do.
David, a 30-year-old ninth grade English teacher in Tucson, was shot in the back and killed May 1st while on a routine walk through his neighborhood. It remains a mystery why he was shot.
The wrong place at the wrong time, because it was daylight and early evening, and I don't know. They don't really know.
Police arresting 18-year-old Maurice Diaz-Casales a few days after the shooting, charged with first-degree murder. But a look at his criminal history has Diana angry and wondering why Diaz-Casales was ever released from jail. The News 4 Tucson investigators found Diaz-Casales was indicted last year on dozens of felony charges, including multiple counts of armed robbery, burglary, aggravated assault with a deadly weapon, and kidnapping. Investigators say he was captured in New Mexico and brought back to Tucson, where his bond was set at $100,000. He was later released to pretrial services.
And somehow he still was released. And within 90 days, not even 3 months after he left, my son died. And that's not right.
Earlier this month, DEA agent Michael Garbo was shot and killed on an Amtrak train during a drug interdiction operation. Investigators say the suspected shooter killed by return fire is Darian Taylor, a felon with a violent history out of Oakland, California, who was able to post a $255,000 bail after assaulting a police officer and trying to take their weapon, while already facing a warrant for aggravated robbery with a deadly weapon, shooting into a dwelling, and cruelty to a child.
Judges have decided to let people that we normally wouldn't let out of custody. As a result of that, we've seen where those individuals have traveled to other neighboring states like Arizona and then committed much more serious crimes in those jurisdictions.
In August, there was also a shooting on an Amtrak platform in Chicago. The shooter, a man wanted for murder, also out of Alameda County, California. Sergeant Raymond Kelly with the Alameda County Sheriff's Office says violent criminals being released and reoffending has become too normal.
We've had people leave our jail and within 10 minutes of leaving our jail go out and carjack people.
In Maricopa County earlier this month, Sheriff's Deputy Juan Reese was beaten to death while booking Clinton Hurley for violating parole. He has a history of several felonies, including attempted child molestation.
The cash system that we are stuck with by law in Arizona is frustrating.
Pima County Attorney Laura Conover says her office wants to change the cash bail system, but can't by Arizona law. She believes it allows dangerous felons who can afford to make bail able to get out, while those with perhaps a less violent background, who are poor, left in jail.
It's just failing us on both ends of the spectrum. And I will say that statistically, the problem is we have hundreds of people in the jail who shouldn't be because the cash system criminalizes poverty.
Diana agrees the current system is broken, but she's more concerned about how dangerous criminals will be kept behind bars.
We can't hold criminals, especially physically violent criminals, in jail pending trials. Then, there's no point in arresting them to begin with.
Diaz-Casales is now being held without bond. Tucson this year broke its homicide rate with the highest on record with more than 80. Investigating for you, Cor Nylander, News 4 Tucson.